Welcome to The Nation. I'm NADIAH ABDUL. Tourism has long been a key pillar of Malaysia's economy, contributing significantly to jobs, investment and regional development. With Visit Malaysia Year 2026 positioned as a major national push, expectations are high from industry players, policymakers and travellers alike. Today we speak to UZAIDI, founder of Your Inbound Matters, on whether Malaysia's readiness to deliver on its ambitions and what success will ultimately look like. UZAIDI, welcome to the studios and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
2026.
Yes.
It has just whooshed past, right?
That's right.
Amazing. Now, let's begin on the wider landscape. This is going to be an exciting year.
Yeah.
A lot of trepidation on what Visit Malaysia Year 2026 is going to be. Now, we want to position this as a defining moment for Malaysia and for Malaysian tourism. So from an industry perspective, what are the key elements that you believe is going to be needed to ultimately define what success looks like?
I think, Nadia, Visit Malaysia Year 2026 will be successful if we focus three focus things. Number one is local experience. We need to create local experience as many as possible, because tourists don't come here for slogans. Tourists want to, to enjoy the experience that they cannot get anywhere else. That's number one. Number two is this local tourism experience, they should be on board on the international marketplace, so the tourists can book, can make payment, and can even do whatever reservations. That's number two. Number three is the locals must win. Whatever we do, the locals must win. Successful Visit Malaysia Year 2026 must be measured not only number tourist arrival, but how much income stays in the tour operators, how much income stays in the small, medium enterprise companies, business, local business, or even local communities. It's very important. So we have to shift from selling destinations to selling local experience in the world market.
Love that you mentioned from selling just destinations to the experience, because I think the idea of tourism has definitely changed over time, and why people travel has also changed. Now, we've seen a significant commitment in 2026, or Belanjawan 2026, where more than 700 million was actually committed to and allocated for tourism specifically, and 500 million specifically for Visit Malaysia 2026. Now, from your perspective, is this actually enough?
Right.
And what does this actually signal in terms of the level of support from Madani government?
Well, I think the government is doing he's taking seriously in terms of empowering tourism industry into one of the major economy engines. And also of course, the size of budget is important. So we will, thanks to the Madani governments for having this kind of facilities. But what matters most is how it used. These big numbers alone doesn't create impact. Impact happens when the small players goes to the international, go to the local. That's very important. So these are the things that we are industry players trying to create initiative so that the small players can be on board on the international market, be a global sellers.
So it's an important point that just the budget alone does not predicate whether this is going to be impactful, and really how best it goes back to the MSMEs, how back it goes into building that ecosystem that you're saying.
That's right.
So we're targeting 47 million visitors.
Yeah.
That's not a small number.
Yeah.
But when we're looking at the number of Malaysians that are traveling into other countries, it's by the millions as well.
Yes.
So 329 billion in tourism revenue. What gives this inbound tourism industry the confidence that we need, and is this ambitious target actually achievable?
I think inshallah is achievable. If you look into the figures, we are very lucky. 70% of our tourists come from ASEAN. In fact, 40% of our tourists also from Singapore. So that gives a strong base without spending much more on the marketing and also the promotion. But again, the revenue of 329 billions, you don't have to depend on tourist arrival. If you can just encourage these tourists to spend more, a little bit more. At the moment now, roughly the short haul ASEAN roughly about 4,000 ringgit per person when they come here. Now, if you can encourage them to spend more, 7,000 ringgit. That will achieve, 7,000 times 47 million. I think we achieve the targets of
Yeah,
329.
definitely. So it's not just about the number of people, but how much they spend while they are here.
Yes, important.
Definitely. And if we're talking about the ASEAN countries being the countries that visit us the most, is there any other country outside of Singapore that comes to visit Malaysia the most?
Of course, the ASEAN. If you're talking about ASEAN, ASEAN has what 680 millions
Yes.
populations, and the ASEAN's tourists came in 2024. It's about 28 millions. So there's still plenty more space for us to develop 380 million.
47 and 600 million. I think we have space.
We have space, so we are confident on that.
Now, looking at 2026, right, what do you see as Malaysia's most compelling advantage? Because I do feel that travelling around ASEAN, all of the other ASEAN countries are also really pushing this visit ASEAN feel. And if we compare that, for example, with Europe, it's quite common where people go from one country to the next. It's sort of like hopping, right? Because they are interconnected. Here, is Malaysia going to be leveraging on any of this? And how do we amplify that? Malaysia is that destination we want to visit in 2026.
I think Malaysia's most advantage points is that we have the variety without complexity. I mean, tourists can come here, they can enjoy nature, they can enjoy good foods, they can even enjoy the wellness facilities that we have, modern cities, even modern shopping centres. We have so many modern shopping centres. We have good local communities. No, it's very rare. I mean, very few destinations in the world has that kind of facilities. Without going to all the long road and everything, it's costly. But here in Malaysia, in KL, you can go to the hutan, the forest. You can go to enjoy the culture. You can enjoy the foods. It's all here. You don't have to go far.
Reach.
So without complexity, I think that's the most. But I think to amplify that, we need to change the message. Don't have to say come to Malaysia, but see what Malaysia can offer to you.
Right.
See what can you do? What can you do here in Malaysia?
Now, every year, you've mentioned that Visit Malaysia is more than just the slogan. We're talking about the experiences that you want to build. We've seen Malaysia Truly Asia. We've seen Visit Malaysia, or we've seen even local type of slogans that we have seen. What's the teaser behind 2026, and what is the experience or the message that we want to give?
I think Tourism Malaysia has these slogans, unreal experience.
Unreal?
Yeah.
Okay, explain.
So we have, in fact, Nadia, we have so many products or activities that we have not promoted. You're talking about what they call it, the national park. You're talking about places that is beyond the destination. Even if you're talking about activities like cooking, that nasi lemak is getting very popular, especially in UK. So they come here, they want to try out cooking classes for nasi lemak. So these are the unreal experience. We just go for cycling in the kampung area, in the paddy field. Where can you get it in part of the world? You can even visit mosques and see how do these Muslims pray. If they want to go to the mosque in their country, I think they are a bit a bit skeptical. But if you come here, you just can enjoy it. Anybody can welcome for the mosque to visit mosque and to experience the mosque. So these are the things that the experience that we need to promote. It's not destinations, it's to promote the experience.
I think the plus point of Malaysia being a melting pot allows for travellers that come, whether or not they are Malaysians or foreigners, to be able to see how multiple races and multiple religions actually live together in harmony, as opposed to what we see in the media, and perhaps be able to provide some counter-speak. Now, as inbound demand continues to rise, we've seen, the ease of travel. Now people are using the ETS, the ERL, the MRTs, or what have you, right? And of course, in-flight travel as well. Which international markets do you see offering the strongest opportunity for Malaysia if we're trying to push for tourism growth outside of Singapore?
All right. I can say India.
Right. Why?
India is a growing market. It's a growing outbound market for everywhere, for every country. Every country wants to target India. India has about 30 million outbound trips every year, and it's growing. So it's very accessible. In Malaysia alone, we have so many flights from India coming to KLIA. So I think this is very attractive market. And furthermore, they have changed. They are the behavior. They come here with families, some are with groups, and they spend on foods, they spend on weddings, they spend on shoppings. I think we need that, and they stay longer, 6 nights, everything. So we need this kind of tourists.
Surprisingly, at the end of the year, and we've seen at the end of 2025 or any at the end of the year, if it's school holidays, generally it's wedding season, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Now we're seeing a lot of people flying into Malaysia to either have family weddings or what we've seen before in island nations where you've got sort of these beach type weddings.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you see that happening more
Yeah,
in Malaysia
it's happening
now?
a lot now.
Interesting.
It's a trend. It's a trend. Maybe to renew their, the wedding, the wedding things.
So Malaysia as your wedding vows destination.
That's right. Renew the wedding vows. That's right.
Interesting. Now, beyond arrival numbers, right? How do we see this progressing? Because you said we want to attract high value travelers. So not just how long you stay, but how much you spend. So when we're talking about high value travelers, what sort of high value travelers are we trying to attract?
I think we are getting there. We're improving compared to previous year. They stay longer. The tourists stay longer here, especially from the India, from Middle East, from Europe, even from Australia. These tourists they stay here about 6 to 10 nights. That's what we need, compared to ASEAN, roughly about 3 to 4 nights. But importantly, the spending habits is slightly different. Because they don't spend on the hotels. They spend on experience. They spend on foods. They spend on a lot of concerts, even concerts. So their spending habits different. So we need to create this experience. We need to create these activities for them to stay here longer. So in other words, we need to attract the right mix of the travelers and for them to stay longer and to spend deeper.
In terms of age demographics, do you see that the travelers have changed? Is it more family goers? Is it more the aging population? Is it more the young, or is it across the board? What's Malaysia seeing right now?
I think Malaysia serve all age. Yeah? But the thing is, depend on the market. For example, India. India is a young nation. We have plenty of youngsters, millennial or Gen Z, which they work with the international companies, with IT companies. They are all over. When they come back to India, they want to spend their holidays in Malaysia or spend their holiday with family. So they come to Malaysia. They spend, they enjoy because they are good earners. So these are the things the Gen Z and millennials we need to cater. I mean, I encourage tourism players to get yourself in order to provide activities, provide experience just for this Gen Z. Middle East, also young generations. Previously we said, they just go shopping and everything. But now they go for adventure. They go for rainforest. So you never expected that these are young people who are intend to go further. So they need experience. We need to provide the experience.
I was also told that in certain countries in the Middle East or in MENA, the government actually provides you with sort of like a stipend after you get married as a hadiah, so to speak, right? And then they actually choose Malaysia as a honeymoon travel destination, and then they do all sorts of stuff. But because it's also sponsored by the government to travel, and usually choosing a Muslim country helps you to not have to find halal food, etc. Now, visitor expectations are definitely evolving. And with more discernment, what we're seeing is visitors are not just coming to have a good time. They expect, the toilets to be clean, our infrastructure to be top-notch, the delays in the airports to be managed, because I just saw a photo of the airport earlier. How is our infrastructure doing? Because it's one thing trying to have 47 million visitors coming, but our infra has to be able to cater to this influx. Do you think we're ready?
So I think I'm confident. The infrastructure that we have now is ready, and they've been used to handle all the traffic, heavy traffic, heavy groups, heavy numbers. But again, of course, the important things, if there is a mishap, if there is disruptions, these tourists, they see how we solve the problems. If we have, for example, leakage, airport in KLIA. Of course, this is not actually this is just operational failures. It's not a system failures. But how do we handle these situations? How do we handle the train disruptions? How do we handle that? How can we So the tourists will see how we handle. It's not they don't expect perfect, but how do we handle this kind of disruptions?
I think you're right. The crisis communication part and the customer service part, the CX part, is extremely important because yes, the aerotrain might not work, but how we communicate to our travelers, how do we make them understand that this is something that we're looking into. Now, when we say that, I do feel that we've listened to some of the debates in Parliament last year talking about how our toilets have to be BMW, right? I do feel that this is very much aligned with the experience of what people expect when they come to Malaysia. When you say an unreal experience, it has to be unreal in a positive sense, in all sense of the word, right? So service quality, in my mind, is definitely one of the largest and clearest differentiators of any tourist destination. So by 2026, what improvements do you want to see done expediently so that visitors can clearly feel that Malaysia is that destination you want to go to?
I think by 2026, by end of this year, we can see there are three clear improvements. One is the confidence. We need to train our frontliner staff to solve the problem, to solve the minor problems, not just escalate them, not just, oh, wait, so we have to wait, we have to check with our supervisor. It's possible we empower them, the frontliners, to solve the minor problems. So the customer feel, oh, they are important. Number two, the consistency. No, we want the service to be consistent, not only at the airport, not only at the hotels, but only for the stalls, the hawkers, the bus stations, everything. It must be consistent. That they feel that these services is reliable, and not just depend on luck or locations.
Yes.
And number three is actually our Malaysian hospitality. We must empower that Malaysian hospitality. We are known Malaysian hospitality. We need to practice it. We say thank you. If people buy from us, we say thank you. Even people come and smile to you. How are you? Just greet them. This is the Malaysian hospitality. So with the combining of this, the speed, we empower them, the frontliners on the digital skills and the professional. I'm sure that they have very good memory when they travel here in Malaysia.
I'm going to pin that. UZAIDI said something very important. So he said, empower the frontliners, consistency in experience throughout, and hospitality at all levels. Okay, this is important not just for tourism. I think it's across the board. Thank you for
Nadia,
that.
if I can just add on, we need to, what we call here in management, the first contact resolutions. That means the first person you meet, they must be able to solve the problems. The first contact resolution, that's very important strategy. So we can feel wow, they feel very important on every problem.
You said something really important about not necessarily just escalating it to somebody else, right? I think that empowerment part is really important. And so I want to talk to you about the small and medium-sized enterprises, because they are more than 70% of our businesses in Malaysia, and they're vital for our inbound tourism. So how can Visit Malaysia 2026 really catapult this? You did say we need to enable and empower our MSMEs to be part of that, not just the recipient of people who are buying stuff, but how can we do that?
According to SME Corp, roughly we have about 1 million SME companies here in Malaysia. But how many of them connected with tourism players? They produce craft, handicraft, they produce nice textile, they produce a lot of ikan bilis, some everything. But how do they connect with the local players? So the important thing is access, not size. It doesn't matter whether you are small or 10-person company or 100%. Is the access. So we need to make sure this small enterprise to have access to the market, especially to international market. So it must be discoverable, it must be on the platform, and it must be trusted. So these are the things that we are actually, our initiative is to connect the SME with the tourism players.
Discoverable and trusted definitely is key, and I think for a lot of players, the barriers to entry is what's stopping them. Not that they don't have the capacity, it's they're just not in the game, right? Now, we're seeing fresh investments. We know that Malaysia has got a number of UNESCO sites. We've got Mulu, we've got Lenggong, we've got Frim. Let's talk about ecotourism. So there are two things I want to talk to you about. One is ecotourism, and the other is health tourism. So for ecotourism, how do we see Malaysia building on this experiential tourism to really also push our sustainability commitment that we are taking care of nature, and let's come and have a look at how you can be part of that?
Well, I think nature, especially the UNESCO's heritage, like Lenggong and Frim, and also the national park. I think we don't elevate that by being beautiful. We using these assets. It's not mass tourists. It's not for everybody. It's only for niche. And these groups of tourists, they come here, they spend more, they spend longer here, they spend more. That's what we want. It's not for mass. It's not for mass. I think these assets is very important for us. And with that, we've been portrayed that we are the country of discipline, taking care of these assets, have a good standards. And I think this is a very good asset. It's talking about Danum Valley.
Yes.
Danum Valley in Sabah. I don't know if you've been there, but
yes, it's amazing.
one of the most, expensive.
Yeah.
People go there, people spend there, and these are the things that we want. It's not for mass. It's not for the the group tours and everything, but this actually elevate that shows that we taking care the rare assets.
And I think it's really important because if you're talking about how ecotourism has been a boom in the whole of ASEAN, many other countries around ASEAN also looking at ecotourism being something that they're pushing for.
Yeah.
The challenge will be how do you manage between the influx of travellers and preserving the national heritage so that you don't have a situation where environmental is degraded because of the influx. Now, let's talk about health tourism. You mentioned that earlier on, right? We've seen Malaysia over the last few years increase in the number of people coming to Malaysia for health tourism for many things across ASEAN. So in 2026, we've got several things combined. We've got ecotourism, we've got health tourism, we've got Muslim tourism, and I've got, of course, Islamic tourism hub that we want to be known as. So how do these niche areas actually strengthen Malaysia's, attractiveness to become the place to visit?
Because we have so many products, we have so many assets, we have so many things that we can want to promote. But every asset, every segment, they have their own followers. I'm sure that if we can combine all of them, I think it will be an advantage edge. If you're talking about Muslim-friendly destinations, Malaysia is championing that. But again, it's no longer as strong as before. Every country is promoting Muslim-friendly destination.
Correct.
Even Taiwan is promoting Muslim-friendly destinations. So we need to go up one more steps. That means we need to create the contents. We need to create travel with purpose. Not just because of the Malaysia Muslim-friendly, but they come here for purpose. What's the purpose? For them to align their life. It's more contents. Like we're doing is Quran tourism. We base on this whatever the philosophy, whatever study that we can, we enjoy the environment. So these are the things that travel with purpose. And if you align with the health tourism, they come here not just to fix their body. They come here to be align their soul, be more on what do you call it, a human being. So these are the things that you can combine all these. I think we are one of the higher than other destinations.
And I think travel with purpose is such a good way to phrase that, because ecotourism is also travel with purpose, edutourism is also travel with purpose, and I think there's a lot more, basically travel with a reason, right? Not just go for the sake of going.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, so as we kind of summarize this conversation, we know that international arrivals are important, but we also want to make sure that our local rakyat is also appreciating Malaysia, because I do believe that with local travel, you learn tak kenal maka tak cinta, right? You learn to love your country more. Now, we know that there is a 1,000 ringgit tax relief that has been introduced. How crucial is domestic tourism for 2026? How much of a chunk are you going to see Malaysian visiting Malaysia?
I think domestic market is very, very important. Very important. Recently, the statistics department, they issue this what they call it, the latest reports saying that roughly about 260 million domestic tourists visited Malaysia in 2024. So that shows that it's a huge number. And with this 1,000 ringgit, we have to, it's very interesting talking about 1,000 ringgit. This 1,000 ringgit is not focused on transport. It's not focused on hotels. It's focused more towards the cultural and experientials. So we encourage Malaysians to try out our culture, to go to the museum, spend the museum. That expenses of the entrance fee on the museum, and that can be deducted. But not for the hotels, not for the airlines.
That
everything.
makes sense.
So the government is doing very good strategy. Encourage the locals to know their culture. Whether they are Chinese, whether they are Indians, whether they are Malay, they have to know your culture before we promote it international. That's
basically the embodiment of your kesopanan dan kesusilaan. How do you actually embody your rukun negara? Thank you so much for joining me today. That was a really insightful conversation. Now, as 2026 begins, we know that tourism stands at the forefront of Malaysia's economic ambitions, and the work ahead will determine how far this momentum can carry us. Now, Visit Malaysia 2026 is ultimately about translating investment into impact and ensuring the benefits of growth are felt across and the industry as well as the country. Of course, thanks to UZAIDI
you.
UDANIS,
Thank you,
founder of Your Inbound Matters, for sharing those insights. Here's wishing Malaysia a strong and successful tourism year in 2026. I'm Nadia Abdul Latif. Thank you. You're watching The Nation.